Hi, how's it going today? This is Thomas Steed coming at you again with another quick update on this time my custom Franks T1 Commanders. Now, this is, I believe, the 2 month video update, 3 months of actual wear time. I waited a month before doing the first review on this because of the station zip. For that first month as that was breaking in, they look a little bit funny while they're still getting there, so it doesn't give the boot enough justice to realistically do that review right out of the box, in my opinion. So that's why I waited a month. So this is after 3 months broken in. I'm starting to actually get my toes imprint. That's beginning to happen. The ball of my foot is pretty well fully imprinted, as well as along the outer edge. These ones have the lineman shank, so it doesn't have that rounded spot, makes it easier for climbing up and down ladders, kicking shovels, doing all that. Lineman patch, lineman shank, like I already said. I went with the black toe cap, heel cap, and lineman patch, walnut, lower and upper. I've applied a little bit more Obanovs on the bottom, and the ladder itself, the little bit of aluminum residue has also worked its way right there and created a little bit of a patina in that area. So it's actually a little bit darker than the rest of the boot, which is perfectly fine. I intended for this boot to have that gradual adjustment between the two tones from the brown to the black, and I wanted it to be relatively subtle. Would I go back and change it at all? No, I don't. I don't think so. If anything, I might have gone with maybe chocolate rather than the walnut, as the walnut has darkened up quite a bit more. But it doesn't mean I don't like the options that I have. I think that they look fantastic, and honestly, given through the winter, after this gets wet and all of that, I don't know if I'm going to be applying too much more Obanos to these until some of this wax buildup has its time to break down and leave. I'll probably be picking up some Big Fours that has less of a darkening effect, so that these have a little bit of an option or opportunity, not option. I'm leaving that in. Opportunity to lighten up enough that it keeps that two tone difference, very subtle two tone difference. I'm not looking for something way too flashy. At the beginning, I mean, if you look at the first video of these boots, it was like that. It was a very very big difference between the two. But I do really like the way that the Obanovs has brought that walnut, that extra shade darker, so that they're just not so boom in your face. And as you can tell, the hill stack has also darkened up quite a bit. I got some nice patina going on there. On this one, I realized I hadn't actually shown you guys how I'm wearing them laced. So obviously they zip up, and with the excess, I'm doing a double double under, whatever you want to call that, and then crossing on the back, the front, and then doing a little bow tie right there. Uh, when I replace these laces, I think I'm probably going to opt for even longer laces, so then that way I can um, do my way of doing the station boot rather than just going up and down and up and down and up and down. I'm coming back up, coming looping underneath and back through to keep those somewhat locked in, so I don't have so much of well, when they flex, you see how it's kicking out in there. It'll do that all along where you don't have a lace and that lower, and I like having that somewhat look a little bit cleaner and more uniform. That's just me. You don't have to do that. I don't know. I'm weird, I guess. I don't know. Maybe not. In any event, I'd like to be able to follow that up a little bit further and then still have a little bit more lacing ability or length to bring it down because, I mean, just a little itty bitty bow tie right there, you know? So, when I was first doing them and lacing them when they were really breaking in, I was actually taking and bringing it all the way down and using these areas in between that I could work the lace through and actually lacing up so it still kind of got that a little bit more tight break in and so that the boot was molding to my foot a lot more uniform during that break-in period. I'm sure that made it a little bit more uncomfortable along the zipper, which I mean that was my own personal choice. That's not something I'm gonna say you need to do that or I'd even recommend. I mean unless you don't mind that little bit of discomfort, but most people are going to tell you not to. I'm sure um, Frank's or Nick's or any of the Northwest builders, they're going to say don't over tighten your laces, and there's good reason for that because you can actually get your eyelets to come loose if you go way too tight. Um, that was kind of part of why I did this as well to somewhat keep those from having too much pull, or at least in theory, that's what I was hoping for, and it seems to have worked. I haven't noticed anywhere any of my eyelets being loose anywhere on them. So now I'm gonna do a quick look over them, and I don't know if you guys can see down in there. Probably not. Maybe it's a little bit better with this one. Now, Frank's actually uses leather down in the yeah, you can't see that. The lighting's not good for this, but it's actually full leather all the way up on the footbed inside of there. It's not really an insole because there's no insole, but the footbed, which is like I said, fully leather. Some of the other companies have opted for half of it, being a fabric material on there. But Frank's goes the extra mile and really focuses on their construction and the quality of their builds. Some of these options on this boot, I'm going to make sure that I say this again, are not standard options. You're not going to be able to build this boot on their website. This is one that you will have to actually directly call them and work something out. If you're trying to do two tones with your toe caps and all this extra stuff going on, you're going to want to work it out with them. And if they're not willing to do something, they're going to let you know up front if they can or can't. They've got plenty of different colored stitching options and other things like that you can work out with them. Last time I spoke with them, they were doing, it was 35 on average per upgrade or specialty choice that you were wanting on them. Don't quote me on that. Go onto their website, franksboots.com, and look at what their pricing is currently, or just call them directly, and I'm sure that they'll work with you on it. I opted to go with a fitting specialist for doing my boots because I hadn't ordered custom boots before and I didn't want to mess it up. So I went to somebody who's done it frequently, and that's a pretty good idea, especially with the different lasts and stuff like that. I would definitely always advise going to a fitting consultant before making your final purchase, or if you're up in the area of one of those Pacific Northwest boot makers, go to them if you can and work directly with them. You're going to get the best fit. And that being said, my guys up at Footwear Outfitters out of Idaho Falls did an absolutely fantastic job with the fit. These things are perfect. Now, on this boot, I decided to have this zip down here so that I could show you a little bit of how we're kind of breaking in, and the patina on my gusset. Up here you can see that zipper. I opted to, keep the kilty in underneath just so that this area where the vamp is, that section of the kilty isn't being torn up, or not kilty, the gusseted tongue gussets aren't getting torn up in the vamp as much as they would be if I was not, especially with how I've got these laced. I figured that was probably the best way to go about this without causing too much damage. In any event, I've gone past the 10-minute mark now. I'm rambling on. Thank you very much for your time. Like, share, subscribe, comment down in the comment section. I love interacting with you guys. And thank you very much for your time. You have a great day.